Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we are solving the hardest question on the 2024 Paper 3 past paper. Yes, I know, it was very difficult to find. As you can see, it's not on the website. The latest one is November 2023. But boys and girls, I found it. So if you want to thank me, please do like and subscribe. Now let's get straight into it. The question states that the diagram shows a circle, radius r, and there are two regular hexagons. Each side of the large hexagon, A, B, C, D, E, F, is a tangent to the circle. Each side of the smaller hexagon, P, Q, R, S, T, U, is a chord of the circle. By considering perimeters, show that 3 is less than pi and pi is less than 2 root 3. Okay, now the fact that the question says by considering perimeters is a massive hint. And the reason is, from the diagram, let's just look at what perimeters we see. We know that the perimeter of the small hexagon is less than the perimeter of the circle, and the perimeter of the circle is less than the perimeter of the big hexagon. This is quite easy to see just visually. Now, based off this, let's form an inequality. I'm just write P, Q, R, S, T, U is less than circle, and this is less than A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay? Oh, now look. 3 is less than pi is less than 2 root 3. Oops. 3 is less than pi is less than 2 root 3. PQRSTU is less than perimeter of circle is less than ABCDEF. Boom. We have the inequality. Now what we just have to do is we have to find the perimeter of PQRSTU, find the perimeter of the circle, find the perimeter of ABCDEF, and simplify this, and we should get 3 is less than pi is less than 2 root 3. So let's do this. The easiest one is obviously the circle. So, the question says that the radius is r, and perimeter of a circle is just the circumference, which is 2 pi r. So, perimeter of the circle is just 2 pi r in terms of r. P, I'm just going to write P of circle. P of circle is equal to 2 pi r. Okay, so now let's find the perimeter of PQRSTU. Now, let me just mark on the center. Okay, and we know that this distance is going to be the radius because it touches the circle, and this distance is also going to be the radius which touches the circle. And if you look at it, we can just say that UP is the same as R, right? Because they look approximately the same. No, we don't do guesswork. It is R, but how do we prove that it's R? If I continue doing the radius from the center to each of the points, we see that we've split the hexagon into 6 equal triangles. And since angles around a point are 360, we know that each of this are 60 degrees. Okay? And since this and this are radii, they are the same length. That means this has to also be 60, and this has to also be 60, because of isosceles triangles. And look! 60, 60, 60. This is just an equilateral triangle. So yes, UP is R. However, we have to mathematically prove that like we just did. Okay? So if UP is R, what will the entire perimeter of the hexagon be? The entire perimeter is going to be 6. If UP is R, that means the perimeter of PQRSTU has to be 6 times that, because there are 6 sides, which is 6R. Okay, now we have to find the perimeter of ABCDEF. So let me rub all of this out. And let me draw in, we had before, we have the center, and let me draw from the center to the corner, the radius. No, this is not the radius, because the radius only goes up to the edge of the circle. Why are we factoring in this extra distance? But what can we label as r? Here's our center. We can label this distance as r because ABCDEF is the tangent to the circle. That means we can also label this distance as r. This distance is r, this distance is r, this distance is r, and this distance is r. Now once again, we have divided our circle into 6 equal pieces. So you know that this is 60, this is 60, this is 60. Okay? However, we want to find this slanted height right here to get ED. To get ED, let's first focus on finding just half of ED. Let's just call this M. Let's just focus on finding MD. Okay? What we could do is we could split this triangle down the middle. And we know that this angle is going to be 90 degrees because a tangent and a circle meet at 90 degrees. And we know that this right here is 30 degrees. And let's just label this side as X. Okay, so we have one side length in a right angle. We have one side length in a right angle triangle that we know, which is R, and we have one angle. So what can we use? Yes, trigonometry. Here we have the opposite of the angle and we have the adjacent of the angle. And that means we have to use tan. So tan 30 is equal to the opposite over the adjacent, which is x over r. So we're trying to find x in terms of r times tan 30 is equal to x. And we know that tan 30 is root 3 over 3, r, which is x. How did I know that tan 30 is root 3 over 3 without using a calculator? If you want to find out, watch our other video on how to work out trig values without using a calculator. Now, however, the entire side length is 2 times x. So 2 root 3 over 3 r is equal to 2x, which is equal to ED. And to find the perimeter, you have to times this value by 6. So perimeter is going to equal this value times 6. The 3 will cancel out and we just have to multiply 2 to the top. So 4 root 3 r. So P of A, B, C, D, E, F is 4 root 3 r. Okay, now let's put these values in and form our inequality. 6r is less than 2 pi r, which is less than 4 root 3 r. Right? We've got our inequality now. Now, because r is positive, we could just divide everything by r. So 6 is less than 2 pi, which is less than 4 root 3. And we can also divide straight through by 2. So we have 3 is less than pi, which is less than 2 root 3. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. The inequality has been formed. If you found this video useful, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching.